Welcome, and thanks for stopping by. Whether you're watching us on YouTube or listening to our podcast on one of your favorite platforms, I'm glad you're here. At this time, I would like to thank our partners and sponsors for their dedication to helping the show to grow. We cannot do what we do without their help. Hey everybody, you've reached the Millennium Beat. This happens to be a topic show. I am glad that you have joined us. Stay tuned for some good stuff. We're going to be talking today about reaching people in the 21st century. And I have my co-host, my Spanish host and friend, Nelson Melendez.
How you doing, sir?
I'm doing great. ¿Cómo está?
Muy bien.
Muy bien. Muy bien?
Muy bien.
Muy bien. And other than that, I was talking to somebody else about Spanish, and I know only a few words. I know bonita. Plato, agua.
Baño.
I know siéntate. I know por favor, if I'm saying it. Gracias. Yeah. So, but I got to learn one word, and you probably will tell it to me. Is where's the bathroom?
Baño.
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 Yes, because that's an important one in taxi.
Yes.
Yeah.
Taxi.
Where's the taxi? How can I get a taxi?
Taxi.
So even if I can't say the whole sentence, I can, as my back is scratching, it's like,
the crucial word.
I want the crucial words. I can, like I need a plate, plato, agua, water, stuff like that.
Comida, food.
Bonita. No.
Bonita is pretty.
Pretty, yes. I know that one.
Comida is food.
Oh, okay. Yes, I know bonita.
Or just go like this.
Bonita, chica bonita.
Chica bonita.
Is it chica bonita? Pretty girl?
Pretty girl.
Yes. I know the key ones, the ones that really give me a lot of information.
So you know the good ones.
I know the good ones, like agua is water, and, and then doctor. If I need a doctor, it's doctor.
Doctor. You'll never
Americana.
Or thirsty.
No, I will. If I need a doctor or get thirsty, I'm also. All right. So since we said all that, and you guys are still listening to us, and I appreciate that, reaching people in the 21st century. How do we reach people in the 21st century, Nelson?
First of all, I would say get to know them.
Mm-hmm.
Get to know their culture, what they believe.
Mm-hmm. Give me an example of how you get to know somebody in another culture.
Well, I mean,
because we'll talk about that in another show, reaching other cultures than our own.
Well, you're not going to go speak to an Oriental
Mm-hmm.
in Spanish,
No.
even though some of their language is Spanish,
Mm-hmm.
like the Koreans. 50% of their words are Spanish.
Oh, are they?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Work on.
I had a friend of mine who was Chinese, and he thought he was Mexican, so they started speaking to him in Spanish, and he goes, "No, I'm Chinese," because he was dark skinned, and he looked like he was from a Spanish country.
Yeah.
But yeah, you're right. So we got to talk to them in their language, and we'll talk about that on the next show, reaching other cultures. But getting to know people is one way to take interest. People, I always say, people are egotistical. They like to talk about themselves.
Yes.
A
good way of getting to know them.
I think I know this with the female race and being a male, if you ask them about themselves, and talk about them, ask them questions or like where they're from, and you get to know them a little bit better. Because people they like to talk about themselves. And I tried to, on the podcast, not to talk a lot about myself other than injecting in stories to help the conversation flow pretty good. But I always say it's not in this case. It's all about you, And
Don't make this show about me because I won't give you a space to say a word.
I know.
Exactly.
So that's why. But in this case, these topic shows are not about. But usually, when we're doing interviews, when the Millennium Bee does an interview, I want to know your story. I know my story, and I've always tell the story. Years ago, a well-known evangelist was in town and doing a Praise the Lord show for TBN, and the host did great for the first 15 minutes, asked some questions. Second 15 minutes was about the host's his life and things that happened to him, and I say, dude, you got a well-known evangelist sitting in front of you, and you're telling your testimony. There's times for that. So going back to reaching people in the 21st century, using your story is good as a testimony. But I think more too is like these shows, like let's hear your story. And finding people that want to share their stories. So and that's why I set up the Millennium Beat is to encourage the world one story at a time. Because I feel like if you're a drug dealer or a drug addict, and then God has delivered you, or even if not God has delivered you, but you've got rid of the habit, you're a hope. Because people say, "Oh, you only do religious shows." No, I mean I'm Christian. I'm based that way. So yeah, God was going to get involved in everything. But just because God didn't do it, didn't mean He didn't have nothing to do with it. Right. Sometimes He works behind the scenes. So that's how we're reaching people. One of the things I'm thinking of dealing with reaching people in the 21st century is where you're at. We all have, most of us, 90% of my listeners are probably working class people. They have some type of job, they have an office they go to, or business.
Right.
I mean, I would love to hope that some millionaires or billionaires are listening. I'm thinking, hey, if you want to be a sponsor, go to my webpage and look up a sponsor and sponsor one of these shows, because that's always a good way that we, pay the bills and do the things we need to do. So, and again, it's like an office staff of one, right now. I mean, but I would love to have more staff and stuff. But again, that takes money, sales
and time.
Sales I could get people to work with selling sponsorships. Because then I could do a commission base, so they're doing on their own time, and everyone that gets sponsored, they get a certain percentage because I'm not paying for it. Right. They get it from their producing something. So I might eventually do that, but we can reach people where we're at, in the grocery store, the gas station. I mean, a lot of people, I never go into a gas station unless I really have to, especially the ones that say, if you want a receipt, go and see the cashier. I go, nah, I don't want to go in. I forget it. I don't need a receipt. But in general, I go back to the statement of thinking sometimes we might be the only Christ they ever see.
Exactly.
So we are the light of the world.
Yes.
And, that's what they see, And I don't know about you, but you probably don't ever have a bad attitude or grouchy or
I get grouchy. I mean, there are days that I'm upset about things. I drive for a living.
Right.
I get people cut me off. I get people that pull in front and hit the brakes.
Oh yeah.
There are moments.
I was driving down in Vero not yesterday, but last week, and I was following something, so I pulled out, and this guy was coming down the road, and it was a good distance away, but he was going way faster than he's supposed to. So he got up on it, and he drove right up on my rear end. I mean, literally, any closer, he could reach and shake out and introduce himself. I mean, but he was ticked at the fact that I pulled out in front of him. But it wouldn't have done any good, because if he would have gone by me, he would have got up to the person I was following, which was going slow.
Yeah.
So so it's just, but again, today, it's weird. Ever since COVID happened, and there was no traffic, and now there's traffic again, it's got worse out there. It really has.
It has gotten worse. Everybody, like you said, because of COVID, there was easier access on the roads. Now, everybody got so used to, hey, the road is open, I'm going to go as fast.
Oh yeah, they're like Indiana 500 racing race car drivers now. I've seen people passing in the breakdown lane.
Yes,
that's how impatient they are.
Yes, they are.
Yeah, and I'm talking about the traffic's not doing 20 miles an hour in a 60 mile zone or 70 mile zone. They're doing 75, 80 miles an hour, and still they're not going fast enough. So there's, I mean, what does it say? Be in the world, but not conformed.
Yes.
Yeah, in scriptures it talks about.
It's scary because you see cars with stickers on them, announcing who they are.
Oh yeah.
In God, and they're passing on the right lane, going 80 miles an hour.
Yeah.
Well, at the store, their attitude is not Christ-like.
No, they're. And there's probably, and we're not going to get into the medical reason, but there's probably a lot of reasons why that's happening. Yeah. Why people are getting angry and stuff like that. But I always laugh, like we were talking about having people have the fish and and stuff like that. I love the car, and I'm going to probably make some people mad. I love the coexist bumper stickers. Like, you have every religion in there. We all need to coexist. Yeah. I said, I like to rear end you and see if we can coexist, Yeah. You're not. Yeah.
It's funny you say that because it reminded me of a preacher who was talking to someone else at another religion who believed that they were a god.
Oh, they were a god.
They were a god. So he says to them, well, okay, since you're a god, let me go get a gun, shoot you, see if you could bring yourself back to life.
Right.
And the guy's eyes opened up, and he's like, but you can't shoot me. I'm a god. And I'm like thinking, okay, something's not right there.
Right.
That's what it just reminded me about what you said. But...
Well, it's funny because we'll get into people dealing with people at the end times. Mm-hmm. It is so funny thinking in the end times that humans are going to go to war with God with guns and bullets and rockets. Yeah. They're going to be firing at God, thinking that they're going to take out the creator of the universe with a bullet. Yeah. No. It's gonna happen. But it's funny how people are just just.
Yeah, but he's going to hit them with hail the size, the width.
There's a lot of things, and we'll talk about that on our last show. Yeah. But in general, we're trying to talk about reaching people in the 21st century. Where you are, there's a song years ago by Jeff somebody, I can't remember what it was, back in the 80s and 90s. Bloom where you're planted.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I remember.
I can't remember. His name was Jeff something, and bloom if you go to work, and be Christ-like, and if you're not, repent and say okay, because there's a lot of times there's people we don't like, people that we just don't get along with, and I'm sure Jesus, didn't like people, but he still ministered to them.
Well, there's a big misconception on you being a Christian.
Right.
Oh, you're supposed to turn the other cheek. Oh, you're not supposed to get upset. Oh, you can't get angry. Yeah, you can get upset. You can get angry, but the word said don't sin.
Right.
Don't sin.
Well, the biggest thing that we know about is Jesus with the temple. He got angry.
That's where I was going.
Yeah, he threw the tables upside down and he said, "You made my house a den of thieves." And he was upset.
Yeah.
But
there's a scripture that says that through the zeal would be shown his love for the Father, his love for the house, the church. Like I said earlier, I get upset.
Right.
But I'm not going to let me being upset take it out on you.
Right.
I have to know, okay, I'm upset. You had nothing to do with it. Why am I going to get upset at you and take it out on you? No. When I get upset, I say, okay, Lord, you know what? I'm going to step back. I'm going to take a deep breath. Show me why I'm upset. Mm-hmm. What triggered me so that later on, I won't let it happen again.
Right.
So if it happens, somebody cut me off, when I get to the next customer, I don't want to let that frustration out on the customer.
Right.
Because it's going to express the company, the side of the company. How am I going to be a witness if I'm letting my frustration of one thing out on somebody else? That's not being Christ-like.
No.
How am I going to win that person if they don't know the Lord?
Right.
Through my attitude.
Mm-hmm.
No, it ain't going to happen. It's like I said before. How is your walk? Are you walking in peace? Are you walking in joy?
Right.
Even though you're going through a trial or a tribulation, how are people seeing you react
Right.
to the situation? That speaks a lot.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to give you a quick example of myself. I had, my back was hurting. I threw my back out. I went to work anyway.
Right.
I was in a lot of pain, but I was smiling the whole time I was talking to the people. And my back might have been all bent and crooked, but I was smiling
Mm-hmm.
and I was talking to them in a good tone of voice.
Right.
I didn't let what I was going through physically
Uh-huh.
affect who I was. And they said, "Are you okay?" I said, I threw my back out. Then what you doing working? How come you're not showing expressions on your face of pain and
Right.
being nasty? I said, because that's not who I am. You know, it's how we choose to represent the God that we know.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Getting back to what we had said earlier, getting to know the people.
Right.
Like you said, when a man meets a woman or you meet someone new, you want to get to know them.
Mm-hmm.
Get to know who they are. Get to know a little bit about their family, how they grew up.
Right.
Because in time, those things are going to come out.
Right.
If it's a hurt or a pain, they're going to have that confidence in you to talk to you about it. Mm-hmm. That opens a window and a door for you to minister to them. Mm-hmm. You know.
Well, the thing is, I'm thinking about different people. You are, if you build a relationship with them, mm-hmm. they will open up a little bit more.
Yes.
To you, and they'll share some stuff. And I know people personally. I can think of one person in particular that I open up to them, they open up to me, and they can share some deep. Not their. I mean, you have to be really open to share your deepest, darkest secrets. Yeah. But in general, they're a little bit. They feel comfortable with you. They trust you. It's like animals, like a cat. They'll sleep. They say if he sleeps with you, they trust you because they know that they're vulnerable while they're sleeping, and they know that you're going to protect them. Yeah. So they'll sleep. They'll sleep next to you and stuff like that.
But that works for every culture, though.
Does it?
Yeah. I mean, I deal with so many different cultures, and nationalities in my day. Mm-hmm. Over the years.
Right.
And I developed that relationship with them. Mm-hmm. The same customers all the time.
Right.
And what happens? They have confidence in me. Mm-hmm. They trust me. Mm-hmm. They get to a point where they don't even check the freight.
Right.
Because I've already checked it for them.
They know.
It's good.
Yeah, they know.
And I say to them, hey, there's a damaged box. Look in it and see if something's wrong.
Right.
I developed a relationship with them, the confidence, the trust, like you said with the cat.
Uh-huh.
Trust that.
Right.
When they see me, everything's going to be fine. He'll let me know. I don't worry.
Right. Well, it's also, it's like I hired, and thinking on the negative side, I hired a handyman, and he was, very good, for the day and a half we were talking, and he was good. He was really good. But then he made some mistakes. He was getting tired, getting hot.
Yeah.
And I say he didn't own up to it. Because, like even when he could correct it, he goes, no, that's going to take me 6 hours. I was even willing to pay him additional to spend some time to fix it. He wouldn't do it because he wouldn't own up to his mistakes. Yeah. And unfortunately, because the fact is I was recommending him highly before that. Mm-hmm. And then after that, I go, I won't even have you come tie my shoes.
Yeah.
I mean, I was going to have him come back and we're going to get one of those garages or for lawnmowers and stuff, put some concrete, circles in the ground, put the garage on and bolt it down. Simple. But no, I can't trust him because he didn't even live up to his mistakes. So. But you were talking about culture and stuff like that, which is a good segue into our next show. I'm not sure when it will be, whether it's next week or sometime in the next month. I don't know. It's reaching other people other than our own culture. Anglo-Saxon white, you got black, you got Chinese, Japanese. You got a culture. How do we reach people outside of our culture? So that would be our next topic. So everybody, you've been listening to the Millennium Beat. We've been talking about reaching people in the 21st century. Thank you for joining us, Nelson. Thank you very much for being here again, being my co-host. And guys, stay tuned. As I said, we're going to be talking about reaching other cultures other than our own in our next topic show. Not sure when that will be, whether it'll be next week or the weeks after, but keep looking forward. You'll see it on our website, and they will tell you exactly when that show is going to be on. So, but again, thank you for joining us. We'll see you guys again soon. This has been a Millennium Beat LLC production. Views and opinions of the guest are not always the views and opinions of the Millennium Beat LLC. Check us out on social media, Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram, and TikTok at The Millennium Beat, or on Twitter at Millennium_Beat. If you would like to partner with us to reach the world, go to our website for more information. You can go to themillenniumbeat.com or tmb2000.net. Your financial support is greatly appreciated. We couldn't do all we do without your support. The Millennium Beat just updated our website from the ground up. Check it out at themillenniumbeat.com, or you can get there by using millenniumbeat.com or tmb2000.net, where you'll be redirected to the millenniumbeat.com's homepage. I want to thank Mass Inbound for their awesome work on our website. If you're looking for somebody to build your site, I recommend them. You can reach them at massinbound.com. That is massinbound.com. These are some of the things that you can find on our website. Homepage. You can watch our latest YouTube video or listen to our audio podcast. Also listed are some of the platforms our audio podcast is on. You'll find out when the next podcast will air and who the guest will be. On the top right, you will find two red buttons, Learn How to Help and Become a Guest. Under Learn How to Help, you can become a partner, sponsor, contributor, or contribute to the future Millennium Bus. You can give one time or monthly recurring. The choice is yours. The other button is Be a Guest. Click it, go to the form, and fill it out, and we will get back to you. We would love to hear your story. Click the About Us drop-down where you'll find stats, where we are reaching people, and to find more information on our sponsors. Click on the podcast drop-down, then click on the calendar tab where it will tell you when the shows will air and who will be on them. Or if you need to know about any meetups of the Millennium Beat staff, partners, or listeners. Also, there might be on the calendar an event at which the Millennium Beat staff will be at. Click the Guest tab for all previous guests, links to their website, social media pages, and any store they might have. Click the Forms drop-down. There you'll find a release, Be a Guest, or Become a Sponsor form.